Hi everyone, it's about 10 minutes before 9 o'clock Eastern. It's 10 minutes before 7 o'clock Central on this Thursday, November 1st, 2012. I'm Stephen Boyle. Well, happy November. So what we're going to do here is we are going to start short term, then we're going to go long term, okay? Short term, right now, there is not a lot going on. We are really in some good weather here for cleanup efforts going on into New York City and New Jersey. Now, for those of you who are listening in from those areas, I hope you all are safe. I do know I have some listeners or viewers from New Jersey and New York City. I hope you all are safe. And for those of you who are from New England, we really got spared a bullet here. We really missed a major bullet. Now, even other areas of New England did get hit pretty hard, or at least better than what I did here in interior New England. Eastern Massachusetts, coastal Connecticut, Rhode Island, and parts of southeastern Massachusetts did get hit pretty well. Essentially what my main point here is if you didn't get the storm that bad, or it seemed like it was a dud, be thankful. Because if you go ahead and look at some of those pictures from, whether it's on the internet or on the news or online somewhere, Facebook, social media, you will see how bad it is. And I mean, subways are just flooded out. There are just... It's complete and utter destruction in some areas. People are without power still. So it is a major situation here, and it wasn't something to be taken lightly. And yes, this storm's name, Sandy, will not be used again. Sandy will be retired. The name. So. Just to let you know. So, moving onward here, things are starting to finally calm down. And we are seeing some cooler air starting to wrap itself in here into the eastern parts of the country. Finally, some cool downs here. We do have some frost and freeze warnings and advisories here going on into portions of North Carolina and South Carolina. Those are in effect here. I do anticipate over the course of the weekend that most of the Northeast is actually going to get a very major cool down. For those of you who have been just taking in this warm weather that we've been getting, it's coming to an end. And for those of you who like the warm weather, you may be in for some rude awakenings here. I'm not going to show you the radar, but there is a few scattered rain showers that are going on into parts of New York that actually is associated with Sandy. She is located up here. She is going to continue to move in that direction, and, well, what was Sandy, and that will continue moving out and not affect us anymore. In any case, how about long term? So after we really go through the next several days, what is our next system? What is our next major concern? And my next major concern is a system that is, I believe it's in the Pacific right now, and that should start spreading eastward as we move through the week. Now, what's going to happen here is we are going to see a bit of a front, and then actually a storm, and then there could be yet another storm that forms, and that storm could bring in some snow. So let's just show you some of the models here. Here is the NAM, and again, this is a very short-term model, so this generally shows you, here is those cool downs that are coming in. There's what was Sandy. Okay, you can actually see she is put into really two low pressures, but this is all really one major low pressure. This is all what was Sandy. And you can see the flow behind Sandy. You can see there is a cold front here. And that is ushering in cooler air. definitely more fall, November-like weather. Yeah, and that is what we would expect here. So, again, we see this cooler air starting to dig in here, and do expect some very chilly weather. So, again, really my next concern is for this system up in here. Eventually, this should actually, it's kind of with this as well. It's kind of with this front and with this system down in here. Both of those are going to sort of give us an idea of what's going on. That's the Canadian. This is the NAM. I believe I was showing you guys the NAM. Yeah, I was showing you guys the NAM. Okay, so here is the Canadian now. This will give you a little bit more of an understanding of what we're sort of tracking. Here is the cooler air starting to work its way in here. You can see this major trough in the east. All right, so now watch what happens. And actually, what happens is this major storm system is actually going to spawn off a few low pressure systems. Watch how there's this low pressure system that kind of comes down, and it's from this major one that's way up in Canada. All right, now notice how this one sort of comes right along and it grabs up some Gulf of Mexico moisture, and then it goes ahead and then goes northeastward. Now, what I'm watching is this low pressure system. Okay, this one could move up, and even still there may be some cooler air stuck in place here. What this one is showing is it'll move a little bit more closer to the coast. If it tracks a little bit more offshore, again, we could get some more cooler air coming in, and this could be an all-snow event for some areas. We'll see what happens. Again, as we get closer in time, we will get a better understanding. Here is a GFS here, and there is the cooler air. There is one of the low pressures that sort of comes down. And again, it's that low pressure system that starts grabbing up some Gulf of Mexico moisture and really ramps itself up here. Now, notice how where this trough is located here. This indicates a pretty nice snow event for areas of the Northeast here. We're talking people who are living really in interior New England. Again, and then as this storm moves more inland, as this storm moves closer, this really becomes a snow event for people. Oh, I would say for all of interior New England, coastal Maine, down and through, it's really interior New England that seems like it's going to get the majority of the snows if it were to happen at this particular point. Then as we move through time, that low pressure moves out, and we have this storm system that eventually moves through, and this storm system may yet be causing some more problems. And notice how we get yet some more of a flow from Canada yet again, and this causes a bit of a trough in here. And then we have another low pressure down here that looks like it's going to be forming as well. So there's a lot of weather to track here, and there is a lot riding on this upcoming storm system here. So I'm going to start you off with hour 108. This is really well before the storm, but I'm just showing it to you just to give you an idea of the situation here. This is hour 120. This is by this upcoming Monday. Like I said, well before the storm. This is by hour 120. Now, let me just sort of see here. That's hour 108. It starts bringing in a little bit of snow here. Excuse me. It starts bringing in a little bit of snow shower activity. These are the GFS ensembles, and the GFS ensembles are pretty good at figuring out what might happen here. This ensemble run is showing a little bit of snowfall in here and up into interior portions of New England. And that's by hour 120, so by Monday. But then as we work our way on into next Tuesday, notice how that same model or ensemble panel shows that there's going to be a major snowstorm in through central Massachusetts, and western portions of Massachusetts, where some areas could pick up as much as, oh, we'll say 7 to 8 inches of snow. We'll see what happens here. And there's a nice storm. You can tell that there's a storm brewing back out into West Virginia in these two ensembles, because you can sort of see that that'll eventually move northward. So that's by hour 132. We move to hour 144, and you can see this ensemble model indicates snow for parts of the Northeast. This indicates a nice snowstorm for the interior Northeast. Let's see here. So that's 2 so far, 3 so far. So let's move on. So that's hour 144, hour 156. Well, look at this. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, we have 6. So we have about 6 ensembles that are indicating that we could get some snow for the Northeast. At least some parts of the Northeast. This one is really showing some intense stuff here, and so isn't this one. Ensemble panel number 1, and ensemble panel number 4, and ensemble panel number 7, I believe that one is. Alright, so this is hour 156. So as we move onward through time, this is hour 160. This is hour 168, and pretty much the same thing. Again, we're gonna just have to see what happens here. And again, this is the 18Z GFS ensembles. I'm actually going to show you guys the 12Z ones, because actually that's the model I showed you. I believe the 12Z GFS was a little bit more accurate, but again, it does show you that even though that the 18Z was predicting not really a lot of snow for our area, there's still plenty of ensembles that indicate that. But let's just bring you on over to the 12Z. We'll start off at hour 120 here, and actually let's go to 96 hours, 108. Alright, by hour 108, 12Z GFS has a nice storm brewing in here, into West Virginia yet again. This ensemble panel has a wicked major snowstorm brewing in through Virginia, Central Virginia, and up into parts of Washington, D.C. Again, exact details. Again, what I'm just showing you here is what the ensembles are showing. I'm not necessarily saying this is what's going to happen. I'm just showing you what the models are saying. This is not my forecast. I'm just showing you why I'm thinking that it's a possibility that we might get snow. And then this panel is showing a major snowstorm. This panel is showing a major snowstorm. Let's see here. Major snowstorm. It's hour 132, hour 144. Major snowstorm. Wicked major. This panel has a snowstorm. This panel has a snowstorm brewing. Hour 156. Look at that major snowstorm. Look at this major snowstorm. Look at this snowstorm. I mean, you can see practically all of these ensemble models, or at least the great majority of them, have a nice major snowstorm being indicated here. At least a good snowstorm, or at least a moderate-sized snowstorm. So as we move through time, again, that sort of starts shrinking down here because we start getting further and further away from the period. So what I'm trying to put out here is that there is possibilities. That we will see. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be going here. Okay, that's where I want. All I'm trying to show you guys here is that there is a possibility of another major storm. This storm could produce some snow for some areas. Okay. Now this is a 12Z Euro, and again, we do like the Euro. Notice how this is by Monday. This is Sunday. Notice how there's that low pressure system. You can see how it's starting to form in here. This is where the low pressure is. This is by Tuesday. The storm starts coming up the coast, And again, what the Euro does is it sort of brings this storm a little bit more inland, and it has more warmer air. It's feeding on more warmer air, and then the cooler air is back over here. However, what the Euro eventually does is, as the storm is pulling out, they do have snows being predicted for the majority of the Northeast. And you'll see that when I show you what the Euro is predicting for snowfall. And that sort of comes out, and then there's this major monster that we sort of have to eventually contend with and figure out is going to happen with that, at least a major cold front. We'll see what happens with that as we move through time. But let's look at the snowfall. If it wants to come up. All right. Just want to show you what the Euro is thinking. And again, the Euro, I would say, is probably the very least amount of snow that we will get with this particular storm. Notice how the Euro really ramps up the snow totals into parts of New York State. I mean, they're really indicating some pretty major snows out there. Even into western sections of Massachusetts, they do have a good we'll say between 2 to 3 inches of snow. Some localized areas of 5 to 6 inches, and then you get some more snow back out in here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, this could be a major snowstorm, and if the Euro starts tracking a little bit more out to sea, well, then these snows could be shifted a little bit more south and east. I don't think these major snows will come as far south as the coastal regions of New England, but I think they could probably come into interior sections up through portions of Maine. I definitely think that's a possibility. So we're just going to have to see what happens. I mean, definitely some snowfall starting to come in. And it looks like downstream we do have yet some more snow to contend with. We'll see what happens as time moves onward. There's plenty of snow that's going around here, and I think this November is going to be a little bit more whiter than average, to be very honest with you. So that is, again, what I am thinking here when it comes in terms of what's going on as far as snowfall and this upcoming event, storm. Folks, I will be updating this as we get closer. Okay, and again, I am not saying that this is etched in stone. I am not saying that this is absolutely going to happen, but it's a possibility. And you know, I know some of us are really excited for snow, and this is actually fairly early for some of us. You know, seeing these first snows, really the first week of November. I mean, it's not anything compared to last year, but we will see this colder air actually sticking around and really making a little bit of a. It sounds like this snow may actually stick around for a little while. So that's essentially what's going on. And again, that's if the snow happens. We'll see what happens as we move through time, and we'll get more information as it comes closer. But again, that's what's going on across the country. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon, or evening, I'm sorry. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I will be giving you an update, sometime Friday or sometime probably tomorrow. This upcoming weekend, I will try to put out my final winter forecast, but there's no guarantees. But I will definitely try to do that for you guys. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will be back with another update very soon. Take care.